What's up? What's up? What's up? I know there's a. I know I'm doing this way early right now. I usually am doing this about 5:30. It's a little bit before 5, but I have something that I have to do. So just gonna hang out for the next half hour till about 5:30, and then we'll keep it pushing. So I'll just wait for everybody to pop up in here. So see how everything is going. See how everything is going. See who all decides that they want to pop up in here. Let's see. Let's see. Hey, 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 hey. Let's see. Who is this? Send it to Gina. Send it to everybody. All right. Looks like we got one person up in here. Shout out to y'all. Hey, what up? What up? What up? Hey, so like I said, if anybody didn't hear what I said, which I'm pretty sure I was talking to myself, but I am early. Yes, you're very right. I am early. I have something I have to do at 5:30. So I was trying to move some stuff around, but I've already been postponing that previous engagement at 5:30. So I just decided to jump up on here for the next half hour, and then I'll take care of that at 5:30. But I decided to get up on here to talk to everybody before I did that. How's everybody doing? There's like only 5 people in here right now, or 4, or whatever. So we're just letting a bunch of people come through. We're gonna talk about some stuff. Got some big things that are coming up that I want to let everybody know about, and I definitely want everybody to try to be a part of that, as well as a couple of updates. And, of course, we always like to talk about news stuff and all that good stuff. So, great. Thank you. You're welcome, Lisa. I don't know what I said. What did I say? I don't know what I said. Anyways, shout out to all y'all for jumping up in here. Like I said, we're going to hang out for another half hour. Make sure you guys smash that like button for a while. We're only going to be here for half an hour. So if you are brand new to the stream, my name is Kevin. I go by the Boot Nurse on all social media platforms. I want to know a little bit about you, who you are, how you're doing, where you're from, where you're at in your nursing journey. Are you taking the NCLEX? Are you pre-nursing student? All that stuff. Of course, my wonderful co-host, Nurse Nellie, is in the building. She is essentially my right hand when I can't answer your questions. So at any point in time, you guys have any questions, and if I can't answer them, she will gladly answer them for me. She's been a nurse for about 4 years, worked in, med-surg, tele, ICU, and now does case management, loving her life. So, of course, if I can't answer any questions, you guys can ask her questions, or she'll answer them for me. If you're a brand new nursing student, first of all, shout out to all the nursing students that are starting school this month and at the beginning of next month. If you are one of those individuals looking for an NCLEX review, to essentially jumpstart you getting prepared for your licensing exam, whether you're an LPN or LVN or RN, check out the 7-day NCLEX course. That link is in my bio. It's going for $48. Once you get it forever, and you get all the updates that come with it. That includes the 7-day NCLEX course. That includes any other type of reviews that I add in there, as well as next generation questions, Q&A, and all that good stuff. So all that stuff is coming. All right. So I want to know who you are, where you're from. Let me know what's going on. We're going to talk about some nursing news stuff as well. So Jen says, studying for my board NCLEX RN from you mean West Virginia? Oh, okay. I got you. I'm tracking. Hey, you're going to do well. You're going to do well on your exam. Okay. A couple things I like to talk about in regards to exams. Make sure that you recreate the testing center. Put yourself on a good study schedule. Have a good study plan. Time management. So audit your time, see what you're doing and see what you're not doing. Understanding your support system. Do they truly support you? If not, then you need to cut those people off. And, it's all a mindset thing. So another thing I like to say is that you don't just pass your NCLEX, you conquer it. You have to think about from the beginning when you stated that, hey, I wanted to be a nurse, right? So what did you do to become a nurse? You had to do the prerequisites. You had to search the schools. You had to apply for the school. You had to do the entrance exam, get into school, finally get into school, get through every class, every exam, all the way to graduation. And then once you graduated, you're not done. You're studying for your board. So it's not just passing your exam. You conquer it. It's just like if you use any type of war scenario from like medieval times to World War I, World War II, whatever. They went through a journey before they went and they conquered any type of area or any other type of army. So think about that. You're essentially, you're in constant war and a constant battle trying to get there. So you're going to do well. Okay. You're going to do extremely well. L Chica 19 says in school right now, LVN. program, 8 months left. Shout out to you. Shout out to the queen of questioning, or the question queen. Lakin is here. Shout out to you. Hi, start clinicals at SA Methodist Stone Oak on 8/21. Okay, shout out to you. Is it Kelly or Kels? We want to call you Kels. Shout out to Kels. Hey, you might see some folks that I know that walk around there. So if you see them, make sure you say hi. Hey, Kels, where are you starting at? Where are you starting at since you're going to that specific hospital on that specific day? That's very specific. But yeah, let me know who you are, where you're from. Who is that? Is that Ella Bebe? Ella Bebe. I'm an LVN, want to be an RN. Any advice? Go back to school. I'm just kidding. No, but seriously, yeah, you want to go back to school. So look for those LVN to RN bridge programs. And they're all over the place. So like you can look at your previous school that you went to and see if they offer it. You can look at other online schools that offer it. But just look for an LVN RN bridge program. Look for if they have any prerequisites, so on and so forth. I think that you'll be fine. I think that you'll be fine if you look that direction. I like to do everything online because, I like to be at home to where I don't have to wear pants. I'm wearing pants right now, but y'all get what I'm saying. Okay. But yeah, so that would be my advice, to start to look for a bridge program. And as an LVN, when you start to go the RN route, you have to realize what your role is. You have to realize what you do. As an LVN, you don't have the same type of scope of practice as an RN. So when you're going that direction, realize that you can take the skills, but the mindset has to change when you're trying to become an RN. Okay. Well, actually, 917 labs first, of course. Okay, Kels, I got you. My school is withholding my transcripts, and it's been 8 months since I completed the class. Sally, why is that? You got to give me a little bit more context. Why? Any advice? I'm in California. I'm studying for my HESI A2. Okay, shout out to you. So you're trying to get, Bianca, are you trying to get into school? Because the HESI A2 is, if I remember right, because I think I took that same one in order for me to get into school. I'm starting my BSN program in October, Dallas, Texas. Shout out to you, D-Town. Okay. Oak Cliff. It's not my hood. So, but you know what I'm talking about. Shout out to you though. From LA, that's Desiree. Need to go back to school. I'm 50. What does that have to do? Why do people keep telling me about their age? Like I care. And I say that in the most respectful way. No one cares how old you are. If you want to go back to school, go back to school. Go do you. Ain't nobody gonna stop. Look, you see that degree right there? It don't say it only says my name. It don't say how old I am. It ain't got nobody else's name on there but mine. It ain't got my son's. It ain't got nobody else's. It's mine. All right. So you want to go back to school and you're 50. I don't care if you're 80, but if you want to do it and if that's your passion, go do it. You'll be all right. I promise you'll be all right. When I was in school, had a bunch of ladies that were in their late 40s, early 50s that went back to school and got their RN. One was an LVN for like 20 years and before she decided to go back to RN. So it all just depends on where you are in life and what you want to do. So I fully support that. Oh, you need to go back to school? Oh, okay, go back to school. Go get that MSN. Go get that MSN. Appreciate the update. Thanks for wearing pants today. You're welcome, Jen. I mean, I wear pants all the time. Most of the time. Don't judge me. Make sure I smash that like button. I want 10,000 likes, but within the next 25 minutes. Make it happen. Okay? Thanks. Is that Kara says, I failed funds, feeling unmotivated. Any advice for me? Well, Kara, here's one thing I like to tell people is that it's not necessarily about motivation, but are you disciplined? Are you disciplined enough to get through it? And let me think about it like this. You were disciplined enough to get into nursing school. So why would you not be disciplined enough to get through nursing school? So you want to waste all that money? You want to waste all that time? You want to waste all that effort? You quit? I don't know if anybody follows me on Instagram, but y'all can go look at my last post. I was like, we don't quit around here. I'm actually going to get a sign that says we don't quit around here because we don't. I don't play those games. We don't quit. So if you're feeling unmotivated, you better get motivated. You better start to think about something, or you just listen to the sound of my voice. Like if you ever feel like you've fallen, all you need to hear is me say, hey, get up. Like get up, stand tall, hold your head, hold that head high. Don't let an exam defeat you. Right? You're gonna be all right. I can guarantee it. If that's the worst thing that can happen to you, I think that's okay. All right. Sally said they said that I hadn't completed ATI, but I did. As in like an ATI exit exam. Sally, I think that's what that means. The ATI exit exam. And if you completed the ATI exit exam, that's just as easy as showing them like, hey, here's my completion for it. I don't know exactly what that means. That's weird. Somebody got filtered because they said something wrong. Okay. What's the simplest way to study for NCLEX? There's not necessarily the simplest way to study for NCLEX. Everybody always wants the easy shit. Like everybody always wants like, hey, what's the easiest way? What's the fastest way? Everything has a systematic approach. If it was easy, everybody would do it. And this isn't me being direct towards you, who is the relationship guru. All right, I need for you to help me fix mine because I got a lot going on in life. No, I'm just playing. We're good. But it's not everything is meant to be easy. These things are meant to challenge you. Like there's a lot of things that you get from this exam other than just the knowledge of becoming a nurse. Like what does your life look like? What does your time management look like? Do you study? Do you understand content? Do you understand the questions that they're asking you? Like it is everything is encompassed when it comes to studying for this exam. So that's what I would say to you. One way is recreate the testing center. Like computer, no phone, no drinks, like simple tweaks like that to your routine of how you study. You'd be very surprised on how it can change your mindset and how much better you would do on exams. Okay. Bryson, what's up, Bryson? Then they turned around and basically said, I now have to do all of these things now. So I'm assuming they mean like all those checks in the boxes, Sally. Like, I don't know, like schools are weird when it comes to a lot of that stuff. I'm in Rhode Island, no science in our HESI, starting my prerequisites in September. Shout out to you, Bianca. Shout out to you. I'm good, Bryson. I'm good, man. I don't be seeing you walk around no more, but I know you're there. I see you hooping. They want me to attend these classes 2 weeks postpartum. They want, like, did you just have a baby or are you talking about postpartum classes? Thank you for your encouragement. Desiree, you are very welcome. That's what I'm about. Kels with the muscles. Okay, I see you. Diego Gutierrez. I was about to say Diego Garcia. I ain't been there. If anybody, hey, y'all let me know where Diego Garcia is at. You'll be very surprised on where it's at. I have a question. I'm graduating in 3 months. Diego, shoot your question. Let's see. Let's hear it. No, the VATI. Sally, like the vocational ATI. I'm assuming that's what you're talking about. Thank you. I'm so worried about the HESI. Don't be worried about the HESI, Bianca. Y'all, listen, when it comes to these exams, listen, I failed my entrance exam on the first HESI. Look, I am the epitome when it comes to failure. You know what I mean? I failed the first HESI. I failed the NCLEX 3 times. I failed at least one test per class per semester. Kid you not. So it's okay. It's okay if you don't do well because you can turn it right back around and take it again. You know, you can turn right back around and take it again. KB says any RN online that doesn't require a bachelor's degree. I'm in Texas. Well, there's a lot. I live in Texas. Nurse Nelly lives in Texas too. And you get like Western Governors University. You got Texas A&M in Corpus Christi. You got UT Arlington. You got Texas Tech. Those are the ones right off the top of my head that I know that are online nursing programs that aren't bachelor. I didn't have a bachelor's and I got into a bachelor's program. I feel like I'm not ready. Diego, I need a little bit more context on why you say you feel like you're not ready. I completed the predictor last year. Okay. Chrissy said that. Nurse Nelly. I'm about to have one this week. Okay. Moody said, I'm taking my T's for the second time on Wednesday. It's my last step to apply for ADN. Okay. Then get to studying for that T's. I only have 2 shots. Then I have to wait a year. Okay. So make it on the first shot. Mavs up. Get out of here. I know you're not talking about basketball. What is your first unit? Nurse Kim, are you asking me what was my first unit? Oh, UTA? I got you. Oh, because they're in down. Oh, okay. I'm tracking. I got you. Can I be a nurse and emo to, I don't know, maybe, probably. I've actually never heard that. It's a phobia of some sort. I don't know what the rest of that is. You're gonna have to educate me a little bit. Kim, my first unit that I worked on as a nurse was a burn ICU. Starting nursing school spring 2024. Any tips? Get into a routine of putting yourself on a study schedule. This is for Mamika. Is that Czech? Hopefully I said that right. But get into a routine of time management. Be ready to cut everybody off. Like everybody off that is not important. And I'm not saying that no one's not important, but be ready to cut these people off. Okay. And the only reason I say that is because they're not about to walk the same walk as you. Unless you have other people like myself or people that you know that are already nurses that you're friends with, Most people are going to be like, hey, let's go out. And you're like, no, I got to study. I'm telling you right now, like I said, this degree right here does not say Kevin Gibson and friends or Kevin Gibson and spouse or kids or anything like that. It says you. It says your name. And you will really know who your real friends are when you start school. Trust and believe me when I tell you that. Any tips for science portions of the T's? I struggle with it. So there's a really good T's book, and I should just screenshot it. Like, I'm going to find it. I promise y'all. I know I've been saying this for like the last week or two, but I'm going to screenshot it, and I'm just going to start putting it up on here so y'all can see what book, two books I recommend, one for ATI and one for T's. The one for the T's is the Mometrics book, the yellow one. That one's really good. But the science portion is just like, it's like high school science. Like, it's not anything like super, super crazy. What kind of nurse are you? Right now, I am an OR nurse. And I'm about to go back to school to get my master's in nurse education. So I'll be a nurse educator. Landon, funny how once I passed the NCLEX, the depression went away. Glad I'm done. Hey, it actually does that. But then guess what? You about to get a whole new level of depression. Not to really rain on your parade, Landon, but you know what I'm saying. But congratulations to you on passing that exam. Because it is a very, very big weight off of your shoulder. It's like getting to the peak of Mount Everest to end up at the base of another massively large Mount Everest. So I'm about to graduate and I feel like the knowledge is there, but I don't know. I feel like I'm not ready. You're not ready for it. Like, you're not ready for what? Oh, you're not ready for the real world yet. Well, I really hate to put it to you like this, Diego, but you got to be ready for it one way or another. But if you best prepare yourself, that punch that you get is a little less painful, if that makes sense. So I'm a military guy. Like, we train all the time for the worst case scenario every single time to where it gets boring. But then when the shit hits the fan, like, your training kind of sinks in. So you essentially have to do that for yourself as well. You have to keep training. You have to keep studying. You have to keep going. You have to keep acquiring that knowledge, and you have to keep pushing. Okay. So don't let it beat you, because the real world is here. It's out here. It ain't going nowhere. So don't run from it. And especially if you want to be a nurse, depending on what type of nurse that you want to become, if you want to do critical care, if you want to do OR, if you want to do ICU, ER, if you want to do flight nursing at some point, if you want to do med surge, if you want to do tele, what else? Dialysis, you gotta be ready for those things. But with time will tell, and then it'll really show how much you really want it. You see what I'm saying? So you're gonna be out. I can guarantee you're gonna be fine. Lakin said, how was the experience working in the burn ICU? Lakin, when I worked in the burn ICU, I loved it. Like, that was my very first experience working as an RN. And I loved every bit of it. And I didn't know anything different until I moved to another ICU. Not only did I move to another ICU, but I moved to an entirely different hospital, and I saw how they did things. And I could just tell you that I just did not like it. So, which is why I stayed there for about 7 or 8 months, and then I ended up going somewhere else. So, Scorpio Princess. Hey, shout out to all my Hey, it's almost Scorpio season. Just letting y'all know. Shout out to all my Scorpios out there. Do you do NCLEX? Do you do an NCLEX review? Yes, I agree. Cut everyone off. Too stressful. Facts. I actually have a 7-day NCLEX course. Right now, it is in its pre-launch phase. I'm letting all 34 of y'all that are currently in here right now that my 7-day NCLEX course is in its pre-launch phase. So it is consistently being updated throughout time. I'm working on doing an NCLEX review, which will also be in there. Working on next generation NCLEX questions and answers and how to answer those. All that stuff is going to be updated in there, but you get it for $48. And I also do NCLEX Coaching 101 currently. So if you're interested in that, you can check out thebootnurse.com and you can click the link where it says NCLEX Mentoring and Coaching. That's also in there as well. So that Mallory, what is it? 2 weeks till I start. I'm getting super excited and so much less nervous. Okay, that's exactly how it's going to be, and you're going to do fine. Like once you get into your routine, just like everything else, it's like what is this like? It's not going to feel like no new news. You know what I mean? So it says Kevin Gibson plus Nurse Nelly. Ma'am, it does not say that, because does yours say Nurse Nelly and Kevin Gibson? Does it say Nurse Nelly and the Boot Nurse? I think not. Plus, you got your degree way before I did. So. Says, thank you. I already cut people out. I am good. I'm good on that, and I'm ready. And I'm already a surge tech and a CNA. Shout out to my surge techs. Anybody, if I got any other surge techs up in here, I'm a surge tech as well. I've been a surge tech. Technically, I'm still a surge tech according to the U.S. Navy. I've been a surge tech for 13 years now. So I got you. I understand. Harry says, what do you think about at places where nurses are becoming licensed and are not being taught CPR? What do you mean, Harry? Is that Harry and Monica? Nurses, at least in hospitals, are required. Like, you're required to have BLS. Like, it is mandatory. You can't not have that. Bianca said, I heard everyone cries throughout the process. Which part, Bianca? There's like 25 messages on here, and I'm really trying to catch up. So shout out to Nurse Nelly for my co-host, because she is really on it. Yep, some of us more than others. Yep. Landon said, I'm going to the OR, but I'm a surge tech, so hopefully that helps me in that field. So as an OR nurse who used to be a surgical tech, or still a surgical tech, the transition is very, very easy, as long as you don't like take a break in between there. I stopped being a surgical tech. I stopped being a surgical tech because I started nursing school and I was an instructor. So I was a surgical tech instructor for about 3.5 years. And then I started teaching. So I've been teaching for 8 years. I'm still currently an instructor. So, I kind of had a real big hiatus out of the OR because I wanted to go critical care. And then I went back to the OR. So the learning curve is different because I had to relearn. And plus, I had to relearn at a different hospital and had to relearn as a civilian. So if you don't skip a beat and you stay working as a surge tech and then you go OR, you're not going to have an issue, Landon, at all. Scorpio said, keep reading. Okay, I'm keeping reading. Gab said, how many years for learning RN? It depends on your program. Some programs for RN are 2 years. Depends on how many prerequisites you've gotten finished. You can go into like places like the University of Texas where it's a 4-year RN because they start you from the beginning. So Juju said, do you suggest going straight to RN program or start as an LPN first? Well, Juju, it all just depends on you. It depends on financially for you, and it depends on your level of comfortability. Not saying that the LPN program is any easier than an RN program, but some people want to take those steps because it's a shorter program. Like, you can get an LVN in like a year or a little bit over a year versus for an RN, it could take you 2 to 4. So it all just depends for you. I would say do whatever can get you into the door of nursing, because the one thing I don't tolerate is disrespect. And so an LPN and an LVN, both same thing. They are both nurses, right? And a registered nurse is also a nurse. An advanced practice nurse is a nurse. A CRNA is a nurse. So if you starting at that level of nursing, as a licensed practical nurse, then cool, do that for yourself. Ain't nobody gonna sit here and be like, oh, you're an LPN, like you can't work. There's one specific individual that I mentored and I coached him on NCLEX. Took me 2 weeks, by the way, and he passed on the first try. And he now he makes more money than I do as an LVN. You know what I'm saying? So don't let all these other things those outside things start to deter you. So it all just depends on you and where you are in life. Just study while you're in school. Jerry, I don't know what that means. Orthopedic surgical tech? Gross. I don't like anything about ortho. Like, I just don't. I've never liked ortho at all because I'm not cooking yet. Oh, okay, that's true. Gab said for RN, you need many years to learn it. Like I said, it just depends on what type of program that you're trying to go to. I needed to get into a 4-year university, and it took me a couple of years to get my prerequisites because I was active duty. I had a whole bunch of stuff going on. So, are you at TMC? I don't know what TMC is. Like the Troop Medical Clinic? Is that what you're asking me? Liza said the difference between LVN and RN and a surge tech. Well, a surge tech is not a nurse, so we can just go ahead and get rid of that. A licensed vocational nurse is a nurse, exactly as it says. They can do certain skills, but they don't have the scope of practice as a registered nurse. So if you wanted to do it on a level of hierarchy, it goes RN, LVN, and then surgical tech. Because a surgical tech has a certification. A licensed vocational nurse has a license to practice as a practical nurse, and a registered nurse has the scope of practice to essentially that can govern an LVN, if that makes sense. Scorpio said, I meant keep reading while you're in school. Oh, okay, I got you. I'm like, what? Lakin said, I wanted to do L&D, but this case near me kind of made me nervous. Well, hey, if it make you nervous, don't do it. You know what I'm saying? Juju said, thank you so much. You're very welcome. Hey, make sure you guys smash that like button. And I need all 34 people, if you don't like me, to like me right now. And if you don't follow me, I need for you to follow me right now. Stop playing games. I need 600,000 likes right now. Make it happen. Okay. I don't even know if is that a tangible number? It is a tangible number. I saw a damn, a remote control. It might as well have been a Roomba, like a fucking, what was it? A lawnmower that had a camera on it that was just streaming all night and had like 4 million likes. I'm like, that is ridiculous, bro. I just had to come on here and talk, and I don't even get a fraction of that. It's wild to me. Wow. Damar said, why would someone want to do LVN if they could go do RN/BSN in 3 years? Because Damar Bebe, it may not fit everybody financially, and you got to think. Like going the LVN or LPN route is not a demeaning thing. It's not. Everybody has a role to play. And some people don't fit that role for themselves right then and there in their lives. You see what I'm saying? So if people can do it, cool. Maybe some people don't want to go in debt. Maybe some people don't want loans. Maybe some people can do the LVN route, go work at a hospital, and then have the hospital pay for them to go get their RN. There are a lot of methods to the madness. So that's why some people would do it. Do you do Zoom tutoring? I do tutoring, but right now it's one-on-one. I'm actually currently in the process of doing group coaching, and the group coaching is only going to be available for 10 people. But I'm currently in the works with that. But if you're looking for any type of tutoring, coaching, or whatever, you can just go to my website, thebootnurse.com, and then look for the mentoring and the coaching, and it'll take you right there. Texas Medical Center. I do not, Jack. I do not work there. Lisa said, thank you. I love ortho. Surgeons are usually cool and good music. Oh, yeah. Wait, I got one. There's one ortho surgeon I love working with, and he does the hips and knees. And he's like a frat boy, so all I do is roast him all day, and we just laugh. But other than that, I'm not a big fan of ortho. Ken said 6 weeks away from my BSN. Shout out to you, Ken. I know you're about to get that degree, and I know you're about to get that license. So you're about to go out here and put in this work, and then you're going to be welcome to the shit show just like the rest of us. So congratulations to you. What is it? Trucker Mom. So I'm thinking about switching industries. Where would you recommend me to start? There's a lot. I don't know, Trucker Mom. I don't know you. I don't know what you like to do. But there's a lot of, I don't know what your likes and your dislikes are. Like, do you like people? Do you dislike people? Are you good with computers? Are you good with your hands? Like I know one lady that I know, she loves liver. So she created like a liver, a course all about making liver, so I have no idea what you like to do. So it all just depends. Lakin said, I know every hospital is different. Every doctor you work with under is different. Just what was horrific. Oh, okay. Got you. Obviously, I don't know how to talk today. Would be honest. Happy to postpartum. Okay. You said, okay, thank you so much. Yeah, no problem. Sorry. This may be a silly question, but what is the difference between an LVN and an LPN? Nothing. It's just a name based off of the location. In Texas, we call them LVNs. Other places, Texas, California, Florida, and I believe North Carolina, they call them LVNs. But it's all based off of location. They both are the same exact job. Same exact job description, if that makes sense. Nurse D, any tips for working full-time while in nursing school? That's where your time management comes into play. And I worked full-time while I was in nursing school. I kind of didn't have a choice. I was on active duty. So my time management was of the utmost importance because I needed to know while I was at work, I needed to allocate studying. I needed to allocate, I was married at the time, so I had to allocate time for my significant other. There's just a lot. But, when you go to nursing school, that is your level of importance. But of course, you got to make sure you take care of yourself because those bills don't stop. They don't stop at all. So, Juju, you're welcome. Denise said average salary in Texas. I think the average salary in Texas is like $36 to $38. I think so. Amara says, how do you see accelerator programs? Any disadvantages? That they go really, really fast. Huge disadvantage. I was in an accelerated BSN program. It was 18 months. I know UT in Arlington is a 15-month accelerated BSN program. It's a lot. It's a whole lot. So it goes really, really fast. The disadvantages are like if you fail a test, like you're going to be, it's like when you fail a test, it's like you're going to be behind, like even trying to make that up. So there's just a lot. Did you work through the program? Like, did I have a job, Denise? Is that what you mean? And yes, I did, if that's what you meant. Demar says, I'm 41 and thinking about going to nursing school. Do you think that is too old? No. Once again, you weren't here earlier when I said something about that, but nobody cares how old you are. To include me. I don't care how old you are. Your age has nothing to do with your ability to get through a program. This degree does not say how old I am, just like your degree will not say how old you are. I was in a program with women that were like 50, that were in their early 50s and late 40s. And they still, they were very, very successful, So your age has nothing to do with it. And remember, it's all about a state of mind and your mindset, and you have to change it. No one is going to care for the fact that you're 41. I promise you. Like, get into your program, you're going to do just fine. As a matter of fact, you'll probably have a lot of the younger students, especially the younger females, that are going to gravitate towards you because on average, they're going to have girls between the ages of like 19 and like 24, and you're double their age. They're going to gravitate towards you because you've gone through life, things that they haven't. So they're going to look up to you like, especially if you're a caring and giving and vibrant person, they're going to gravitate towards you for life mentorship. You'd be very surprised on how that happens. Lady says that she's 49. Cool. You're 49. I'm 49 taking prerequisites. That's what I'm talking about. Don't nobody care how old y'all are. You see what I'm saying? My goodness. Juju said, if I take my LPN, can I do the bridge from another state, or is that possible? So usually it depends, because your LPN, it depends on what state it is. So like usually California, so there's these things that we like to call, it's called the Nurse Licensure Compact. Like states that are not a part of that, such as like California and like Oregon and Washington State. I think Washington State actually are a part of it. But anyways, you have those states that are not a part of it. Once you get your LPN, you can essentially go to any other school that bridges as long as your license is valid. And you have to send your transcript from your school to that RN program so they can validate it. So any tips on getting an A in pharmacology? Look, I can give you a tip on how to pass pharmacology. I don't know about all them tips of getting an A. But the biggest thing about pharmacology is knowing the family name and the suffixes. So where does it fall? Like, is it a cardiac med? With cardiac meds, what are their normal signs and symptoms? Now, in regards to cardiac meds, you have different ones. You have your ARBs, your ACE inhibitors, digoxin, beta blockers, calcium channel blockers. So, okay, now I know that all those fit under my cardiac meds. Now I need to know which one is which, like my statins, which one is that? My Prils, which cardiac med is that? My LOLs, which one is that? And then I need to know what's the pharmacokinetics of those? Like, what do they do? Do they decrease heart rate? Do they increase cardiac output? Do they increase or decrease preload and afterload? Now, what are the signs and symptoms that I'm going to be looking for? What are their vital signs going to look like? When do I hold it? Once you understand those, like, you'll be a master at pharmacology. Yes, it is 5:30. I am so sorry. I think I might just start streaming at 5, because I got a bunch of people that are up in here. So it's 5:30. I appreciate everybody. This is me signing off. I know this stage is going to be a little bit early, but I need everybody to follow me right now. I need everybody to go and follow me. I need everybody to go over to my YouTube and follow me. I need everybody to go over to Instagram and follow me, because that's where I post the most, is on Instagram. Okay. I love doing this. I love doing this whole thing. Right. And this is me giving back to essentially like my community. There's a bunch of stuff that I wanted to talk about, but I'll talk about it on Wednesday instead. So I stream between 5 and 6 on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Make sure you guys follow me, and you guys hit that notification button so you guys know when I'm streaming. As well as make sure you guys check out the 7-day NCLEX course if you are a brand new nursing student that's about to start school. Because who wouldn't want to get an NCLEX review or an NCLEX course for $48? And I live in Texas, so I only go by Texas time. And I can't even really say that because El Paso is in Texas and they're on Mountain Time. So I go off Central Standard Time, 5 to 5:30. Okay. So, but I'll leave you guys with this. Just know that becoming a nurse is a journey. Getting to your NCLEX is a journey. Conquering your NCLEX is the byproduct of you going through your journey. All right. So I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. And I will catch you guys in the next stream, which will be Wednesday between 5 and 6. Make sure you guys follow me. Hit that notification. Peace.